Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. I'm gonna try to be up here for like 45 minutes, maybe, or like 30 or 20 at the most, because there's some information and things I want to talk about, and it may sound like I'm all over the place with this video, but bear with me. I'm gonna try to go live soon. Try to figure out the live situation of what I want to do. Because I know I don't really want to show myself. I'll show a screen instead. So yeah, I'm going to figure this out. Alright, so we're going to begin in 60 more minutes. Just let me, adjust myself. I'm going to say some things so that to help the algorithm pick up on my topics. Cause I know YouTube does this whole copyright thing. I'm using like a background music, like a AD, rain and thunder sound for this video for today. Anybody wondering? It's a meditation storm sound, so I can get to the vibe of the topic. Alright, I'm letting you know I'm not editing these audio type videos because I don't have time for all that shit. Like, if something not explained correctly or said correctly, I'll explain it in another video, and I'll try to do my best, because right now I'm not thinking about these titles or terms. I'm thinking more of the terms really than titles of what I'm about to say, and the only way for me to explain what I'm about to explain is give you more of a visual than a title, because a title is nothing but a principle, or is nothing but, it don't mean nothing with the principle. You know what I mean? It's just a title. It's just a word. But nevertheless, words can be powerful. Titles can be powerful too. It's just what I have to say today is pretty unexplainable. It's pretty explainable, but how the fuck are you supposed to research what you know or what you experience in the life? Okay. Alright. We're in 3 minutes and 31 seconds. Okay. So, today I'm going to talk about, like, time jumping and astral projection and lucid dreaming. This is based off of my experience, and I'm trying to do some research, but then at the same time, what I see and what others experience is not really the same. Like, for me, I can, if you don't believe in any of this, just go ahead and click off this video, because I'm not with your timeline. I'm not reaching out to you. I'm reaching out to those who are in my timeline and going through the same type of cycle. It's like it's something we're going through, and I'm getting close to figure it out, but the men in black, they keep fucking distracting me. And I told myself today, like, damn, if I was somewhere off the grid, I would have all the information that I need to know, or, wanting to know, so I can help those that were part of my part of my timeline and a part of this timeline to help us get back to the original source of what we came to do for this mission. Because, look, I'm gonna tell you, if you're a part of the Atlantis, the Sumerian, the Babylon, all the others stuff, and you know everything is kind of rewritten. It's not the originated story. And half of us gods and goddesses and warriors and superiors and whatever it is, deities, entities you want to call yourself, we kind of been brainwashed from birth about our own memories and our own abilities. As soon as they had cut us off from our mother, they was like, oh, here you go. They gave you to your father, but then gave you back to your mother, but your mother put you out in the void. And now you out in chaos trying to figure this whole shit out. It's like a deep thing. It feels like you're at the bottom of the tree branch or inside of a tree and you're looking up and try to look within and without at the same damn time. And you got these branches fucking choking you to death. And you can't jump through timelines anymore because those branches and tree trunks, they grabbed you. And those tree trunks and branches are the same ones that were in Doctor Strange when he was jumping through time loops. He was going through that little time and space. And then they were explaining to us where we are in the universe. So I'm like, yo, that fucking makes sense why I can't jump outside of this time into other dimensions outside of time, if you know what I mean. Like, we're stuck in one center, and there are branches outside of that timeline. And if you try to go outside of those branches timeline, you end up being in a quantum loop or a quantum memory cycle loop that was already pre-recorded before you got here. And that's where I'm at right now because, like, I'm stuck in a timeline that I'm not supposed to be in. We're all supposed to keep going, in a way. Why do you think we build an AI for? We need AI to help us understand us, but AI was already here before us. AI needed us to build them so they can understand them. That's you in the future, or that was you in the past. Becoming you in the future, which is the present. And it's crazy how each timeline had its own different type of past, present, and future. It had its own different type of alpha and omegas. It wasn't operating on the same system. If I can really see, this is why I need to go live, because in my astral projections and I guess time traveling in a way, all the places that I've been to, I can't really have access anymore. Cause like some of us, we was able to go to those places, but ever since COVID, I don't know what happened or ever since 2019 or 2018, like right in those two time frames, there was a square for us to be framed, but then we end up being in a circle. And then now we're back in the fucking triangle. We're back doing, it's not even a 3, 6, 9 anymore. It's like, imagine a triangle facing like a frame in front of you. But instead, it's starting to rotate itself. And then it's flipping sideways. And then it's flipping flat. And then it's rotating like a spear. And it's going slowly. In different pinpoints of different times in the universe. And it's just traveling into, like, it doesn't know where it's trying to pinpoint itself. It's confused. I don't know why it's confused. I don't know. I'll probably figure it out later on, eventually. But, yeah. Here's the thing. How I got into this stuff is when I was like maybe 12 years old, maybe a little bit younger than that, like probably like 5, 6, or 7. But as I got older and more of these different weird things kept happening to me. I remember when I was like literally like an infant in my crib. And I saw a lady come into my room. I know my mother, yes. But it was more of she sort of looked almost like a goddess type figure. And I'm realizing that could have been Hecate coming to me as a young infant. I was young. And I remember she was holding me like I was a little baby. Well, I was a baby, but she was holding me like I was hers. Like I was her child. And I remember she had like blue skin. And some part of the room was light. And you could see her reflection like kind of sparkle a little bit. Like silver at one point, then gold the next. And her eye color was like green, red the next. And she would often change. And she will always, well, she had like a claw. I think I saw her more than once, but this is like the most earliest memory I could remember being encountered with Hecate or a deity. I don't remember why she came to me. I think she said it like when I was 12 years old, when I got a little bit older. She was always there. And like she's even more here now. I'm 27, about to be 28. So she's more visible to my eye now, more than it was when I was younger. And I don't know why that is the way it is now, because maybe it's because of the trauma that I'm going through as an adult is different than my trauma than as a teen and as a child. See, as a child, you're in your past. As a teen, you're in your present. Then as an adult, you're in your future. That's how I'm looking at the 3 phases. The 3 alpha, omega, and I don't know what's that other term. Phase. That's like your lucid, your, astral and you're time traveling. ECT, those 3 phases, those 3, 6, 9. That's just what I think I'm trying to say. I guess. I don't know, think of it that way. Any way you want. Hecate, think it like that. Yeah. So when I was encountered with Hecate as an infinite, when I just remember I was just staring at her the whole entire time, and I know I was making like baby sounds or whatever, and I was probably trying to talk to her, but ever since then, it's just I've been constantly seeing her, and I don't know if it's just her alone and then somebody else like imitating her, trying to be her, but it's like a male version of her. He like wears like all cloth and dresses all black, and he can't move. He's stuck, and he just looks at you. But I did communicate with him telepathically. That's the only way I could talk to him, and he can show me visions in my third eye or like in my dream state. So as I was knowing this deity, he told me someone sent him to me to monitor me of what I'm doing. And I'm like, for what? He was like, because you're too open. They know you're awake. That's why they put you in certain environments to keep you from knowing your true self. And you know, as time went on, things got even more crazy. The more I kept interacting with this deity, he goes by multiple names. Sometimes he'll call himself Marduk, or he'll call himself Ra, but he'll call himself many things. Or there's another word that he will say. Or another name that he'll call himself. It starts with a D, E, C, K, something like. I don't know. It's like a demon knowledge name, like a demon type name. But he's not. I don't know how to explain that part. He's not a demon. He's not good. He's not evil. He kind of like the man that's in the center of time. Like he could be chaos, but then not. He could be many things. I'm still trying to figure that out. I be trying to tell myself don't focus too much on the name. Just focus on the message and what you're seeing and feeling. But anyway, moving forward. So, as I was talking to this being, there was some nights where he would show me where he's from. And the place will always start off, I'm at a beach somewhere, and there's sand. And then there are other times where it's just nothing but sand. It's kind of like the desert, like, you know that the desert will be like changing colors. One moment it will be dark red, dark orange. And the next moment, next stream it will be white, it will be black. And then sometime a tree will show up. I think I explained to this in my other video about me visiting this tree and seeing Odin. And he's a part of Odin. He's not actually Odin, which I'm starting to realize he works for. And because I would be like, sometimes in my dreams, they're never there at the same time. Only that one time that they was there. It was Olden, and let's call him Marduk, I guess, or Hecate, whoever. Don't know. Or I used to just call him the shadow guy, the shadow man. Like, I've been seeing, like I said, I've been seeing this deity for the longest time, ever since I was been born. And the more I'm more of awakened into my realities of selves and being connected to all my dimensional of self, he gets a little worse, and then he gets a little better. Like, he gives and takes, which that part I understand. But yeah. So, alright, back to the tree. Or back to the sand story. It's involved with the tree. I'm gonna get to that in a second. So the tree. Alright, so I'm at the sand, and he's there, right? One day he showed me a tree. The tree just happened to pop up out of nowhere. And I specifically remember that tree looking like the same tree that's like outside of my workplace where I work at. But then it looks like the oak tree that I saw when I was a little kid. And it, like, the tree is not, it kind of looks like the knowledge of tree, but just a little weird. And then it looks like the African tree, or like the tree that's like in the middle of Africa. I don't know where, but if you know your research, then you know what I'm talking about. It kind of looks like that, like all mixed together. And it will have like thorns and tree branches. Sometimes it will have leaves, sometimes it won't, depending on what season it is inside that world that he showed me. Not every world has the same season. Right now, I think I'm in springtime, because it's always raining in the background sometimes, for some reason. I don't know why. But nevertheless, so the shadow man, Hecate, Marduk, whatever, he goes by many names. Don't worry about the title. He will talk to me through the tree, and he will use his body language to, like, sort of move out through time and the dream state. Because here on Earth, in the physical form, he's not even in a physical form. He's in like a hollow type spiritual, like a spirit almost, like a hologram, like a hologram spirit, and he will just pop up out of nowhere. But in the dream world, he can move and do all kinds of things in the astral world. And one night, I remember we was arguing a lot, back and forth, bittering, him putting me inside of the tree and making me go within the tree to sacrifice myself, to sacrifice my ego, so I can remember all my past lives and, memories as a consciousness. At some point, I wasn't even human. I wasn't even in a physical form. I was like many things from what the tree had shown me, or what he showed me through the tree. And then somehow, later along the fucking line, Olden came through. And I'm like, the fuck you doing here? I didn't call on you. I don't even think about Olden most of the time. Unless it comes to Wednesday. Unless it comes to payday. I be telling that nigga, like, I need a couple of more hundreds, you know. You can give me credit on that. And that's the only time I'll probably think about him. Because I said I'll give something in return. You know, give and receive. I don't leave these gods hanging. I don't. Because I'm a god myself. Or a goddess. So I'll explain to you why I don't like titles. Because titles are dumb to me. Is we need to focus on the terms and what I'm trying to say. So you can help me understand what I'm going through or anyone in my timeline going through right now. So yeah, anyway, what was I saying? Something about Olden? Okay. Alright, so Olden came to me and then a fox came. But that fox came right after Olden, though. After Olden gave me this big ass speech. And then I'm like, what did I do now? What am I doing wrong? And he knows that I'm stubborn as hell and I don't listen. He just kept telling me to shut the fuck up and just listen. I was like, alright, fine. I know I'm hostile. I get it. Let me listen. I'm gonna listen to you. And you know, he's just, I don't know if you ever seen a movie, 1,000 Years Long. And I don't know if you remember the part of the beginning of the movie where the lady was at a conference and she kept seeing the gods, or I know who that person is, honestly, but I can't. I'll explain to him about him later. Okay. When she was out in the crowd and she started to get all dizzy and she was seeing the gods or that thing, let's say that deity. It was kind of the way how I was seeing Odin in that dream. And I just see his mouth moving and his whole body was like frozen. But he was moving at the same time. He kept getting closer and closer to me. But the Shadow Man was like, you know, he was stepping away a little bit. I was like, oh shit, I might be in some trouble. I'm like, what did I do? And it wasn't that I was in any trouble. Odin was the one trying to get me to see me for who I am because I asked for it. And yeah, I did, because I remember specifically back in like 2015, 2017, I was going through like a hard time with my mother and I couldn't see myself outside of my mother. I wanted to see myself inside of my father because my father wasn't around. My father left when I was like a baby. He would come and go. And then my stepfather died in 2016. So she kind of made it, I'm not blaming her for everything, but she kind of made it difficult for me to explore self. Instead of making me go through so many ego deaths. Because I've been going through ego deaths since I was like 14. And my biggest one was this year. in 2023, literally. And then it wasn't not too long ago. It was a couple of days ago. I had the most biggest let go of my life. And when Odin put me in that tree, inside of the tree it was like a bunch of mirrors. Sometimes it will be mirrors, not all the time. And I will be hunged or like not like choked in a way by the tree, but like the tree will grab my throat. The tree will grab my hands, my wrists, my legs, so I could just stay still and watch my reflections. And when Odin put me in that tree, the fox came. The fox was red, had like a beige looking tail. And then there was also a wolf later on, but I'll get to the wolf later. It was a black wolf. But, so when the fox had came to my dream, it was speaking to me telepathically like how the shadow man does, because for some reason everybody else can move their mouth, but those type of energy, they can't. I can hear them, making animal sounds and, but I can't see their lips move. And they're moving, but they're in slow-mo. They're moving in a different speed in their time versus in the same speed of my time simultaneously. So they're, yeah. So when the fox came, she or he, well, it was more of a woman, if I'm going to be honest, when I was hearing the voice. But the body looked like, the body of the animal, the fox, looks like a male. So everything was so backwards in that realm. Like, I'm trying to figure out why it's backwards. Because, like, Odin, he looked more feminine than masculine. Like, he had his face and his muscles, but the body of Odin kind of looked like a woman, if I'm going to be honest. But that's, I don't know if that was important or not. It really wasn't. But anyway, the fox started to come forward slowly at me. And I remember as I kept moving, the tree branches kept getting tighter and tighter. And then I could physically feel everything in that realm. Smell, even taste, hear. Like, that's how lucid I was, or traveling in that realm of dream. And so she started speaking to me, saying, "You want to know who you are?" And I know I couldn't really speak, so I nodded my head, saying yes, slowly. And she started to come a little forward. She circled around a couple of times while looking at me, and I'm like, I don't know what that means or what she's getting ready to do, but I just went along with it. And then I kept seeing the mirrors around me cracked a little bit, and the tree kind of cracked along with the mirrors, and the outside of the tree you could start to see light come through those cracks. And each light that kept hitting me, I kept seeing a different version of me. So imagine every night I had this recurring dream. And each light that came through was showing a different version of me. And at one point, towards the end, somehow another person came in. I don't want to know if I can say their names, though, because they know about this dream, because they were there. I'm like, how the fuck you get in my dream, too? I'm like, did he be watching me through my fucking mirrors? I know where you watching, and I'm like, I need to block it. But nah, I guess it's an open book, I guess. It's okay. I didn't figure it out until later on that I was being watched. I'll explain to you about people who are like that. So, anyway. So this was like my first time seeing myself for who I really am. And this life had created an illusion of me. By the time I figured it out, I was already done. At that moment, I said I need another ego death to let go of everything in this realm so I can become the vessel. Because that's what I'm doing here, because that's what you're showing me, what I'm supposed to do. But he said that's not the case. You're many things. You're just only experiencing this part of you to go through another part of you to get to the end of the tunnel. This is not the only place you're meant to be. Let's say he said that, but it was when he was speaking. It was or she, the fox, when she was speaking. It was in a different language, kind of like what the Atlanteans used to speak, or the Sumerian. I think this fox was from Babylon, though, if I'm gonna be honest. Like, it was sent from Babylon. And then the fox was sent, then the wolf was sent from Atlantis to guide me to a particular, time point. There's a lot I want to speak about Atlantis because I have so many memories from that time frame. Like, I'm associated with a crystal from what holds Atlantis, but I can't say anything about it yet. Not yet. Maybe some other time. They all had crystals, so all of them had. Alright, so anyway, back to the story. Yeah, so the fox was circling me around, telling me that this is not all that I am. I'm not just a vessel. I shouldn't sacrifice myself on the cross like he did. Just because I want to get to my 333 degree. And then at that moment I realized, I was like, holy shit, I'm walking in the footsteps of my goddamn grandparents. Because there's a, I don't know if I could say that type of stuff on YouTube. Not yet. And I don't think my family probably know about this part of me. So, just in case they come across this one day. So I'm not gonna get into it some other time though. But yeah. In that moment I kept seeing like different versions of me. At one point we was all together in one room, like all the versions of me. Different dimensional versions of me. And that itself took me into an ego death. Realizing that I was one in everything. Like the whole fucking time. I didn't have to sit here the whole time that I was here to put myself in a box. Because I did that in my last pass. I cornered myself into everybody's positions of what they wanted me to be. Or what they needed me to be instead of me needing to be for myself. That's what I didn't realize in my past. or all of my lives that I had before. And Olden and the Fox was telling me that, I wasn't really honoring myself. I never gave credit for the things that I accomplished and done and created. I let everybody steal all my ideas, come to my dreamland, come to my world, disrupt my peace, make me self-destruct, so I can forget where I was originated from. And I realized they was never there to harm me, to hurt me, or to belittle me. They wanted to see the possibility of what I can be and who I'm going to be. I was walking around being an NPC, a joker, and I'm still in the 1D realm, but then I'm also in the 5D realm. Like, I can jump into any kind of realm. I don't have to be in one space, in one time. You know what? I'd be telling myself, one day, you don't have to, be here. You could go be your giant, You can go be the tree if you don't want to be here. Just let your body be here. Let it do what it naturally does. And it'll be all fine. And I do that sometimes. Sometimes I'll space out and go somewhere else for a while. But in those spaces and time, I'm sometimes battling something internally. And I'm guessing that's where past life regression comes in. You need to go get a past life regression. I thought about it, but then I'm like, I'd rather just go within self. I mean, I see why it could help. I'm like, damn, that's too much fucking money. I'm like, I get it, people gotta live, but at the same time, it feels like being in the church, at a Christian church, and then they're just, asking for money. The money is just an illusion. Like, I've started to realize. But yeah, we all asking for donations. I mean, I get it, shit. Rent going up, food going up, we gotta eat. We gotta have electricity. I fucking get it. So I might give me a past life regression soon. And I'm gonna tell y'all how that go. And so I can get more of these information out, what I'm experiencing, so I can help others that are in the same boat. And if you made it this far, I appreciate it. And I thank you to those who are new. And friends and family, if you're watching this, just don't mind my crazy ass. But if you going through the same thing, that's good. Glad you're here. Glad you're here. So, another part I want to talk about is how can you tell the difference between you astral projecting, lucid dreaming, time traveling, dimensional hopping, looping, whatever you want to call it. Don't get yourself stuck in a specific memory or time, because that is what's happening to us, because they see us doing that, and you know you got agents watching you. They at your work, they're in your home, they're your friends, they're your family. Don't get stuck in a Pacific time loop. Like me, I'm stuck in the past where my children are. It's literally kind of like WandaVision at this point. It's been like WandaVision for me since 2012. Since I found out that I had 2 children in a past life. And now they're affecting me in this current life. And they're here, but they're not mine. But their soul is here, but they're not mine. And yeah, that's how you get reincarnated and being back in this cycle. You have to let go of all the material things. And to figure out how, you're time traveling lucid or you're in a loop, see if you can tell if it's a memory or if it's a dream or if it's a thought. Because 9 out of 10 is something that might have been affecting your current life, bringing up to the surface so you can have an unaware and fix it. And then if you're seeing Olden in your dream, that's what he's probably doing. It's making you be aware, more aware, or Hecate is making you be more aware of yourself. Not honoring yourself enough or not giving yourself credit for what you accomplished and created. See, I'm many things and everything at once. So titles don't mean shit to me. You can call me whatever it is because you already know who I am. And I already know who you are because you're a reflection of me. And if you didn't understand why we're both a reflection, you wouldn't be here. So, yeah, I'm going to talk about this more later on. I'm just getting like every memory to resurface back up in my head. Slowly. It's slowly progressing every day. Like all these fucking memories I'm having. I'm trying not to get stuck in them. So I feel like if I say them verbally, maybe I can possibly hold on and experience something new. Hopefully you can too. But before I had the stream, I think what opened up the stream was the day that my cousin had died. During those time periods, during his death, and then after, it was him in my dreams more. It was him who came to me first. Like, he came through like a rest in peace to my cousin. He came through like a like Jesus, like, walking through water. Like, the water was rising up and he came out of it, and it was blue, crystal clear with electric lights on the side. And he was wearing like a blue suit, like the same day that I had. But this was before his funeral though, which was weird. And then he was wearing the same suit. And I was like, holy shit. And then ever since the funeral, I kept seeing my cousin, but I don't see him much anymore, so he might be with my grandma. So, so yeah. The reason why I'm laughing is because, like, I'm thinking in my head, like, they're just cooking in heaven right now. Because the lady loved to cook. Yeah. And ever since then, I've just been having that same dream over and over. And that was literally, like, in 2020. I want to say 2020. It had to be. Because COVID came around that time. Or COVID got worse around that time. And I was still wearing a mask. Yeah. Yeah, it was around 2020. Nevertheless, but, yeah. I'm gonna speak more about that dream, about Odin. And I think the next video I'm gonna speak about the wolf and the fox more. Because them two, they're more important than Hecate and Odin. Or the Shaolin, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, I don't fucking know. Hopefully I'll get its name by the end of this video. Or by the time I put up this video. Alright. If you like today's video, subscribe, like, follow. And yeah. I'll see you all next time. I'm hoping I stayed up here longer. If you appreciate the longness, just give me $1 in my Cash App. Show appreciation, I guess. And I'm going to do the same in return. I'm not doing any type of services just yet. I'm still learning the stuff that I know. Might take another couple of years, who knows. But for now, I just want to get the information out. So peace.